just want the world to change, but be the change.
Having the pressure of looking out for them on the mountain is what motivates me.
This is like full episode, smack me in the face. You took that in a better place than even I was anticipating.
I kind of just went off the rails.
Yeah, no. Honestly, it's the thing. It's like the most powerful insight that you just kind of shared with me. So obviously this logo is a mountain, right? So there's a great book called Mountain Is You, Brianna West. If you haven't read it, go read it. I got 3 pages in and I had to stop because I couldn't stop applying what she was just even sharing in the forward. I was already mind blown, right? So we all have something to learn, always. But the thing is to like truthfully kind of redrafting a keynote. I've been working with Ben Nemtin and really redrafting a keynote to really like, what is the message? And you just kind of really highlighted the message in a pretty cool way, not intentionally. Again, we didn't plan on this, but the mountain is oftentimes that thing that we feel like we're working on. It's not the thing preventing us from getting what we want, but sometimes it's the stress, it's the obligations, it's the business, it's all of the to-do list, right? Whatever the mountain is for you. But the other thing that you kind of touched on is the family side, the people that mean the most to you side, the people that you surround yourself with, whatever the thing is. But who you're on the mountain with. Because it's not like you're there at the base of the mountain and then you're going to go hike the mountain every day and come back. Mm-hmm. The reality is they're with you. So imagine if you're on a hike with your family, are you only looking at the mountain? No. Mm-hmm. You're making sure your people that you're on the mountain with. So when you talk about doing it by yourself, nobody does anything by themselves. But really stop and think about, do I want to get to the top of the mountain but have none of them with me? Or do I want to get halfway up the mountain and just have them with me? Because at the end of the day, if we're really being honest, of which if not, then let's chat and have a reframe. It's the people that we get to be on the mountain with, on the way. That's what we're always going to wish for. Like you said, the kids are little right now. But if you just focus so much on the mountain because a lot of people say, I want the mountain, I need to conquer this so that I can provide for them. But the most important thing you provide for them is your presence and your love. And you've talked about that. You never want your son to come to you and not be willing to play catch with him.
Yeah.
And you want him to see how you show up for them more than, but more than how you show up for the mountain. So the question really is, one, is it a mountain that you're trying to scale by yourself? But the reason why it's hard to do that sometimes is because you haven't prioritized the people that are on your mountain with you. And I'm not saying kick people off the hike with you. I'm saying remember why they were there, who they were there, how they were there. Now there's going to be people that are going to challenge you and going to say that they're worried about you going, they're doing your thing. They're worried about your change. Like when I was at my leanest, my family was saying that I looked sick, which I would say to them, me being my larger self is the most unhealthy. But like when I was actually lean, I was healthy, but they saw me as sick. And so there's going to be those people that are going to kind of show care and concern and questioning you and all these different things. But I'll say the reason why they do that is really just because they're afraid you're going to leave them behind on the mountain. Just provide them that certainty of people that you want to have in your arms when you're on that mountain, whatever the mountain is for you, whether you're halfway up or all the way up. Who do you want to be with? Not just what do you want, not how tall the mountain is, because I know the people in my life that I want to be there with, arm in arm, because we did it. It wasn't something I did that they let me. They're having a sacrifice too. It's a Saturday morning right now, people. You could be home with them, but you're choosing this right now. I don't take that for granted. But it's that my whole goal of my keynote that I'm going to travel all over this world with is being present. We don't know how many days we have. I'm not saying live like it's your last only, but it's also like, who do you want to be living it with? Who means the most to you? Do they know how you feel about them? Have they heard it enough, or is it implied? Did you tell them 10 years ago and they should already know? but just showing up for the people. And again, wanting to be a better partner, wanting to be a better husband, wanting to be a better whatever the thing is, right? So a lot of the listeners, right, wanting to be a better wife, a better leader, choosing to be that. This is that shift. Like we all say we want to be the thing, right? And like, you know, even Gandhi, I'm pretty sure it was Gandhi, said, be the change you want to see in the world. So like not just want the world to change, but be the change. This is that empowerment again. So you saying I want to show up for my family isn't enough. I'm going to change things to show up for my family. I'm going to change how I show up for my family is the movement. But when you say like, I want to change how I show up, I want to change the lifestyle I'm living, all these different things, it starts with the belief that it's possible. Then it's the conviction and the commitment to actually do it, whether you feel like it or not. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the gap between wanting and choosing. Again, we've talked a little bit about this earlier too, but like wanting is an emotion. It's based on your mood and your chemistry and all these things. Like I want these things. That's why everybody on New Year's in January, they have these goals of all the things they want. But in July, did they choose it? That's when you'll know. Typically these days it's in February, you'll know.
Right.
But it doesn't mean because you fell off that you can't get back on. It's just this relationship with yourself of owning your choices, because it's going to reflect the habits you then create, the life you create, the people you surround yourself with. And on social media, it's a very simple example of if you don't feel like you have the people that you just talked about, because I agree, if you don't have the people in your life, it's really hard to make that change because there's a social connection that you're going to have to be willing to sacrifice. And there's a weird space. Chris and Alex talk about this too at Hormozy. But when you decide to make a change, some of the people may not come along with you, right? Hopefully it's not the mountain people, but maybe it is. But there's this weird middle space to where you lose some friends when you decide you don't want to drink anymore, that you want to lose the weight, that you want to be a runner. Not all of your people that you're now choosing are going to be in that same group, but you're not all the way on this side yet. So you don't have all these new friends yet. So you're kind of in this middle space of I'm not that anymore and I'm not this yet. But that's where these days connection and social connection is so easy. So if you find people on social media that are the thing that you don't want to see, there's a little 3 dots to where you can unfollow or block. I do it all the time.
Yep.
If there's anybody that posts anything that isn't in alignment with who I am, what I am, and where I'm going, I block them. They don't know. They don't know me. If they had a problem, they'd reach out to me. Guess what? None of them have. But there are people that you can Google, you can research, you can go on Instagram, runners, hashtag some of these things. And then even if it's on your phone, maybe that's how you start to surround yourself with some of those people. Because imagine if you go on your feed every day and all you see is positive words, people lifting each other up, people doing the things you love to do. Like my feed is a lot of golf, a lot of motivation, a lot of travel, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of speakers, all these different things, a lot of authors. It didn't happen on accident. The algorithm learns what you pay attention to. So if I stopped paying attention to those other things, even though those people aren't in my life, like they're not coming over for dinner, they're still occupying my time in my life, right? And so there's so much opportunity. Even if you like see somebody or listen to us and you're like, man, I want to learn more from those guys. You can every week. You can every day. We share something. And maybe that's how it gets started. But I've had a ton of people reach out and say, hey, are you willing to, they want to start a podcast. They want to speak. When you reach out to people and say, I'm interested, shock, we all say, how can I help? Mm-hmm. Right? There are people who are going to say, you know, there's a fee for my help. But more often than not, people just say, how can I help? Because you didn't get where you are by yourself. I didn't get where I am by myself. So we recognize there's like a natural desire to give that back. So the wanting to be something, maybe the first choice is to surround yourself, maybe reach out, maybe own, maybe buy the book, maybe just realize that it's possible for you. If you believe in yourself and if you surround yourself, create the systems. You know, Brian was telling me earlier when he was signed up for his half marathon, he bought the watch, has the routine. He was running before. So it's this shift of identity of which maybe doesn't resonate with everybody. But like somebody who writes becomes an author. So an author thinks and behaves differently than somebody who just writes. You were running all the time. It was already a habit you were committed to, something that brought you joy, something that you were listening to things and improving, right? So it was already something you were doing. You went from somebody who runs to a runner now, right? And that instantly created a different shift in how you saw it all and all the different things. So maybe that's the thing. Instead of just saying I'm somebody who goes to the gym, it's maybe I'm somebody who takes care of themselves. And then your brain will look for patterns. What is somebody who take care of themselves? If you say you want something, what is the thing you want? Okay, let's make the first choice. Maybe the first choice is systems and habits and processes, because then your body and your brain and then the people around you will then start to affirm that. And if you say, I'm not drinking anymore, surrounding yourself with people who drink every time to test your willpower, wouldn't suggest it. But if you say, I'm only going to come out, but I'm only going to drink water, and you share your goals with the people around you, you'll find out quickly whether or not they want you to drink or not. But if they're threatened by you not drinking, it's because they also feel like they should, but they don't think they can. So as you make your choice, just know there's going to be some things that don't jive with everybody around you. But again, like we said, just looking in the mirror of like, what do you actually want? Because if you want it, you can make the choice, and you will make the choice to actually get what you want, live the life that you want, live the life you can't wait to live, and it'll feel easy. It's weird how it goes from really hard to really easy. And we know the things that are easy to do are also the things easy not to do. And we have to own that. So if you decide I'm going to wake up early, and then you have the opportunity every day to not do that, 7 becomes 7:15, becomes 8, becomes 9. And then you look back and be like, man, I can't believe why haven't I been waking up? Right. So like the choice has to be followed up with commitments, but also why, who's on your mountain, who's with you on that journey, because that will often be the reason, like, you know what, I'm going to get up early for them. For them. And that will help you close the gap on those days when you don't feel like it. The good days, bad days, call it whatever you want. The high energy days, the low energy days, the no sleep days, whatever it is. Just remembering who's going to be impacted by it and why, and how's it going to show up? How do you want to show up in their life? Not just what do you want to provide? Because like we talked about, the most powerful thing we can actually ever provide people is presence and peace. And if you feel like you're always doing and going and all these things, it's hard to find some of presence and peace unless it's a choice that you make, followed up with systems and habits. So, but
I like the mountain for the keynote. That would fit all around for what
everything
you're going for.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a question of like everyone. I feel like everyone has a mountain in front of them.
Everybody.
At all times of your life.
Yep.
If you're a super successful person or if you're in a bad spot, the mountain looks different depending on who you are. It might be right in front of your face or it might be off in the distance, you know. But I like also what you said about who's on the mountain with you. Because honestly, if you're looking at a gigantic mountain and you're actually trying to get to the top of that mountain, the people you choose to take with you on the mountain are probably going to be climbers. You know, they should probably be people you might have to, that might be a mountain you have to put your family at the base of and climb the mountain with the expert climbers, you know, and then come back and get them. But you got to come back and get them. That's a space I think where I was always on the mountain, and I was making the trek up the mountain and back down myself alone. And the family was at the base of the mountain. I was coming back to them every night, you know, every night I had climbed the mountain and back down, and then I was there with them. But now they're on with me. I'm good enough at climbing the mountain and that's just a process. Yep. And it comes by doing and being in the season of doing.
Yeah.
And I like the word season of doing, but I also don't, because it's always like it is the season is going to be the rest of my life, you know? And if people can take one thing from me specifically, if you're listening to this 40 minutes into this episode, it's that it's a constant pursuit. I have not reached some random finish line and had a magical revelation like we talked about earlier to now everything's perfect in my life. I'm always overly honest with things like the family stuff. I'm willing to share that because I think that that's something that people struggle with. If I'm me and doing what I'm doing and I'm struggling with this, there's got to be someone else out there who's also struggling with that. I've never had a problem with climbing the mountain. I will climb every mountain every day. That isn't the struggle for me. And that is the struggle for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is like having the determination to do the work. That is an issue for a lot of people. That fortunately isn't my issue. My issue is the opposite of I don't know when to take time off. I don't know when, or haven't known. Now I'm making that a priority.
Yeah.
The priority is the time off.
Yeah.
I have to focus on that. Some people have to focus on, hey, when am I going to fit in a workout? Mm-hmm. My thought is, when am I fitting in my family time? I have to go the opposite direction. So everybody has a struggle.
Yeah.
It might not look the same for everybody, whatever mountain you're facing. But the more times you climb a mountain, the better you're going to get at it.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure you don't fall off the mountain, you know?
Yeah.
Then you're kind of ended.
Yeah.
And you don't have the opportunity to bring people with you if you're off. So
yeah,
that's another aspect of it.
Yeah. And, I think when you say season, and I hear people talk about chapters and different things, but it's really, and not that I'm naming this for you, but it's really, you are committed to doing. Mm-hmm. That's actually what this is. This isn't a season of doing, to where seasons are typically 3 months. If you live in Missouri, they could be day to day, but most of the time seasons mean it's going to end. I don't know that you're going to end the doing. So it's like a commitment to doing, an enhanced commitment to doing is where you are, or what you're committed to do. Mm-hmm. Right. But it's not just doing work, it's doing and being, obviously. Right. And the last thing I'll kind of just say to kind of wrap up, as far as like the idea of pursuit, the words that we use are really powerful. And so even if we're sitting there saying like, what is the mountain? Mountains can feel daunting, mountains, all these different things. I could go into an analogy. That's why it's the logo, but I could go into an analogy of a mountain. But there's this, people say all the time, making mountains out of molehills. What is it a mountain? If the idea of it being a mountain overwhelms you, what could you really see it as? Like, maybe look at it for all that it is, not all the work it's going to take. Maybe mountain threatens you. Maybe mountain makes you stay at base camp and doesn't make you go anywhere else. And so kind of understanding kind of what some of that is, but this really powerful idea of pressure as a privilege. It's really easy to not have any pressure on you, to be comfortable, not be out of balance, right? We have to be out of balance to find balance, but that sense of pressure that you sometimes feel to make the change that you actually say that you're wanting to make, that pressure to make that change is a privilege. That pressure to wake up at 7 a.m. to accomplish what you want is a privilege. The pressure or the obligation, if you will, to start your own business, to show up differently in your family, it's all a privilege. That makes the pressure feel differently. And for me, so I've prioritized this business growth, the unique nature of working towards being a speaker, traveling, all these things. I've prioritized that over a relationship, right? So I'm not married. I don't have kids, not because I don't want it. This is where it's like want and choice is going to smack me in the face a little bit. Not because I don't want it, but truthfully, I haven't been choosing it. So this chapter for me, this actually is a chapter. I'm really having to own, what do I actually want versus what am I choosing in every area of my life, not just the business side. I've been a little out of balance with the personal life side. And so I'm really kind of making a choice to say, you know what? I want the pressure of being able to balance and show up for the person that I love, and, having her life be a priority, be the priority, not a list of priorities. Like you said, Americans made this word, but like having her be the priority while I also still, like, I want somebody on the mountain with me. I have my family, close friends, and all those things, but I've kind of separated I can't climb the mountain with somebody just because of different things in my life, and just nobody's going to want to be with me because of this, and I'm not going to be able to show up and all these things. So I've avoided the pressure. But now that I understand that the pressure of doing having both of those things in my life is a privilege. It's a thing that I want. So it's, what choices am I making now to be able to have a partner to build this incredible life with? Like, that's a new thing for me. I hoped somebody would come along. This is like full episode, smack me in the face. I hoped somebody would come along and somebody would be willing. But I was saying, when I'm fully at the top of the mountain is what I was holding myself to, that pressure of when I'm at the top of the mountain, maybe then someone will want to spend their life with me. That's a weird's not even the word. That's an obscure place to be, but it also reflected the choices I was making. Because I was like, I'm doing this mountain no matter what. Mm-hmm. There's an and there, right? And like getting to see you do what you do at the volume that you do it and still show up like what you just alluded to, like I'm gaining insight sitting across from you. It's like, I want that pressure that you have of balancing those two things, because that is truly and honestly a privilege. I think if I were to say you have to pick one or the other, I probably couldn't fit other out of my mouth before you made your choice. Mm-hmm. So that's important for me. And like, that's my insight. Again, when we're talking about maybe one person saying one thing one time, even though we probably heard it and we probably thought it, like, what choices am I making? Do I say that I want to be in a relationship, that I want to have a partner and I want to lift her up and be with her in every step of the way? And am I ever going to find somebody who's willing to do this? Yeah. If I start making choices that actually reflect that and open myself up back to that, you know?
I feel like that's a very universal feeling though, of like you got to climb the mountain and then
correct.
You can, whether it's relationships or success, you know, you'll view yourself as a success after you get to the top of the mountain. But then whenever you get to the top of the mountain, you see that there's a really, really big mountain that the little baby mountain that you're on.
Yeah, the molehill.
Yeah. Is actually the molehill.
Yeah.
So like the mountain itself, there's multiple mountains. It's not just one. Yeah. And so the family aspect of like having someone who you know you want with you on the mountain is an aspect of this too. Like I know I would want that, you know, I wouldn't want to leave them at the bottom. I would want them to be with me, to take care of them, to make sure nothing happened to them, but also to just have them with me, you know, for the experience of the mountain.
Yeah.
And so that's another aspect of this. You got to find someone who having the pressure of looking out for them on the mountain is what motivates me.
100%.
And so the reflection of, I saw how people reflected on my mom's life and how she had impacted them. I want my kids to see their dad doing cool stuff. Like, I don't want them to just be like, oh, he's successful. Yeah, that's fine. I want them to be like, my dad busts his butt. But we also, like, I bring my kids up here and they see me talking with people and they see me making videos and they see me doing all this. Having that pressure of being a role model to the kids, that's something I take super serious.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit hard on my kids sometimes because everything comes easy these days. It seems, you know, like they can see someone else who's getting something that they're not, or they can see anything on social media. Like, my kids are a little bit young for that right now, but like, that is the thing. The social media aspect is not going away. Yeah. And so I have to prepare them for what's reality, what's not reality, what life is actually like, and what you actually have to do to be successful rather than what they might see. Fortunately, my kids don't remember whenever I had the ice cream pail of coins that I had to feed them using. They don't remember that. I fortunately got us out of that hole before they could remember, which is great. But also, I kind of want them to remember that was our reality. We weren't always good to just go to the store and get whatever we want, you know? And so I make that stuff clear to them, and I make sure that they're involved enough to know that it's not just being handed out, you know?
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm doing everything I'm doing and the whole season of doing and the life of doing is for them and for having them on the mountain with me.
Again, another insight, just the pressure of somebody else relying on you. Like, that's such a connection for me because I love to take care of the people that I love the most and whatever they need. I want them to feel supported. It's not the grandiose life. It's take care of their heart, take care of their mind, create safety, make them feel loved, make them feel seen, help them accomplish every goal they have. Like, that's what I mean by the pressure of how I want to show up all the time. But truthfully, I'm a firm believer there isn't a single thing meant for me that'll pass me by. That's kind of just been a root for me and a foundational building block, if you will. So I know I am right where I'm supposed to be. And now I have this perspective of I'm not going to just focus only on the mountain as I'm going, as I'm building, as I'm growing, no matter how many people, no matter how successful, no matter how this, what I'm going to go speak about is how this already is the most important thing to me. And so I'm not going to have to fall out of balance and then try to come back to balance. Am I going to have moments? Probably. Sure. Am I going to travel 20 times a month? And she's probably going to say, hey, I'd like to see you more than on FaceTime, but I want her to come with, but I also want her to have her things, so like, I'm just so in tune with balance right now that if I would have done this 10 years ago, I probably would have messed up the relationship because I would have been so focused. But again, you've kind of given the example of making both work. So I don't regret, I don't look back in shame and regret and kind of hold myself to any of that. It's really just understanding, again, the Latin phrase amor fati of like, I'm a lover of one's fate. And so that is, I don't wonder why it hasn't happened. I'm grateful that it's happened the way that it has. And I'm looking forward to what's to come. But I know what's in my heart and I know the choices that I need to make. And it's not to kind of wrap this whole episode up, it's not I want, it's I decide. Like, I'm making decisions. Decisions made with commitment and conviction feel totally different and will require a different version of me. And so if you catch yourself saying, I want anything, don't beat yourself up for saying that, but just decide, what do you actually like? What is the most important thing and how does it impact the other important things? Because once you decide that, then I just suggest to people to write it down. Like, write down what you say that you want and write down maybe why you want it. Like, how's it going to impact all those other people? But then just start making decisions, because there's so much power behind taking ownership and accountability and responsibility for your choices, not because somebody else said something, not because something's going on in the world. I'm going to be me. I'm going to make these choices because this is what I need. This is what I want. And this is who I want it with and for, And that's what I've already learned. Like, I've had multiple insights. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing these things. And again, we kind of start these episodes with an intention in mind always. But where they go is authentic and real. And there's any rails. So when you say going off the rails, we don't really have any rails. But we have a very specific destination, and the destination is to show up for each other and to show up for the people that watch. So thank you, for another awesome couple episodes here. I can't wait to hear more about your commitment to doing, season of doing, chapter of doing, year of doing, life of doing, whatever you want to call it. And, just know that you're inspiring more people than you realize, including those people that are on the mountain with you.
Appreciate having me.
Yep.
Thank you for letting me be here again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said at the beginning of the episode, leave a comment. Let us know what's your favorite
mountain?
What's your favorite thing? Yeah. What's your mountain? What are the things you're facing right now? And if it made an impact on you, share it with someone you like. Yeah.
And leave a comment about the things that you're saying that you want, that you want to decide, because when you put it on social media that it's something that you say that you want and then something you're deciding to do, it's a different level of commitment.
Mm-hmm. And come back a couple of years later and tell us how it went, where you are now. Yeah. 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 Enjoy every step of the mountain. Don't dread it. And again, look around to see who you're with, and make the choices to live the life you want to be living. We only get one, and how we choose to live it is up to us.